What's happening, people? At this property in Seafield, garage doors are getting replaced. Some bespoke garage doors, double doors. And then you're facing at the top there, it's getting replaced. Just got replaced with some tongue and groove straight up and down the way, not at a 45 angle like that, just straight up and down the one. We'll need to rip it all off, see what the frame's like underneath. We'll get the garage door off, the garage door frame off, then we'll get new framing put in, new garage doors then made up. You see how well the frame comes off. It's been recently rough casted. They've took the rough cast right to the wall. So we'll need to see how it goes. What I'll do is I'll fire a wee time lapse on of the garage doors coming off and stuff like that, and I'll bring you back and forward. So that's the door off, frame out. This property had been recently rough casted. Just recently. I'll take you and let you see. I've managed to keep it to minimum damage. So I did explain to the customer before I started, the rough casters were supposed to leave me a 10mm gap here, but instead they banged it against the frame, so the customer understands that it could damage it. I would do my best not to. As you can see, frame's all out. The only bit of damage that's happened is here. That wee bit and that wee bit. which to be fair isn't actually too bad. So it's not too bad, as you can see. That's the door off, frame out. So now I need to go and grab all the materials, make up a new door. So that's been, got all the materials. Now I'll make the frame. So I'll start off with two sides, then the top bit. We'll get the two sides fitted, get them plumb, then we'll work on the top bit. So phone died as usual. I didn't notice I was banging on with his door. Didn't notice it died. So I've not got any of that on video. But that's one door on. It started raining, so I've had to set the gazebo up. I had to swap the saw to the bigger sliding miter saw rather than the wee one, as that's got a depth stop on it. The wee DeWalt one doesn't have a depth stop. That one does. So I batter on, get the second door on. As you can see, door's on. The door's fully working. Now we need to put a wee peg in it to stop it rattling the new rough cast. Needs a wee seal just down the inside. The panel doesn't quite cover the gap. But maybe need to stick a wee trim down and see if I can pin this on some more. But we'll see. That one's working. But in general, it's working alright. It's working fine. Heavy duty hinges bolted on it. The bolt through them. 3 screws. And then the hinges bolted on the other side. The wee plate. So yeah, so we'll get this door made up. A wee stopper around the inside. I've just had to stick a bit of wood at the top there now to stop that door from going in the way. Because I'll get both doors on, then I'll line the stopper up. We'll get the lock and stuff like that fine. So let's crack on. So I had to stop the video now as the depth on the saw decided to move, which then made me cut through the wood, not all the way, but it's still a mess. I'm going to have to redo it anyway. But then when I've tried to tighten the bolt wouldn't tighten, and it's just stripped the head, so I've had to draw it out and put another bolt in it. So the idea is on this saw, on the Metabo, this plate you move, and what that does is then that allows me to adjust the depth. Well, the screw that was in here had come loose, this plate had moved back, which then makes that pin go through, which then makes the blade go all the way down instead of stopping where it is. As you can see, I have a nice big gouge. And when I've tried to fix it, it's too far in, so I'll just redo that whole bit of wood. But instead I've had to stick another bolt in there, and then that should be us now. Well, I say I've had to draw that out and everything like that. So we're back at it again. happening, people? So we're back doing this garage. I've no videoed a lot because I've had issues. I had issues lining the doors up. The gazebo almost blew away because of the wind here, flood rain and stuff like that, and the batteries kept going flat on the phones, so I kind of gave up video. So as you can see, that's it all done. 2 garage doors fitted. Give me a second until I move this power cable. Move that power cable out of the way. So as you can see, 2 garage doors remade, and then the top bit done. So I'll take you out of the stand to wander around and see. As you can see, top fascia's done, top plate put on, trim put on the bottom there to kind of clean up the edge there. Then 2 bespoke doors made, and a key lock. Fingers in the way. Sorry about the flickering, that's the light in here. There we go. The doors bolted at the bottom and the top, so that way they can then open both doors. So as I says, I have tried the video, but it's been kind of against me with this video. The wind kept blowing the phone stand over, ended up tying it to the fence. It was still shaking around. The phone kept going flat. Don't know if it's because I'm running these new mics, if it's sucking the life even more. I don't know, but because I was too focused on trying to get these doors to line up and stuff like that, I totally forgot about checking the phone. So it ran out because I had an issue getting both doors to line up for some reason. Turns out it was the floor. The floor humps up and down all the way along, so it was causing issues and knocking the doors off and stuff like that. But they're all up and running, as you can see. Doors are now minted. So, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Don't forget to give the video a little thumbs up, a little like, share, give it a wee comment if you want. I do appreciate you watching the videos. Thank you.